If you don't have a burning desire, you will never see results. This was the first and most important truth Napoleon Hill revealed in Think and Grow Rich. He studied hundreds of the most successful people of his time, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller, and discovered that their achievements did not begin with talent, money, or luck. They began with desire, not a wish, not a hope, not a vague interest. A burning desire that consumed their thoughts, directed their actions, and sustained them through every obstacle. Desire was the hidden chapter of their lives, the force behind their success. Hill explained that desire is not something passive. It is not daydreaming about a better life while doing nothing to pursue it. Desire is fire. It is hunger. It is obsession. It is the kind of passion that keeps you awake at night and pulls you out of bed in the morning. Without desire, no plan will last. Without desire, no persistence will survive. Without desire, even the best opportunities will pass by unnoticed. Desire is the spark that ignites everything else. But here is the dark truth. Most people don't have burning desire. They have weak wishes. They say, I'd like to be wealthy. I'd like to be successful. I'd like to change my life. But as soon as it gets hard, as soon as obstacles appear, they quit. Why? Because their desire was never real. It was only a wish. Wishes vanish in the face of struggle. True desire grows stronger in the face of struggle. That is how you know if your desire is real. Does it die when tested, or does it burn hotter? Hill insisted that the starting point of all achievement is definiteness of desire. You must know exactly what you want, not vaguely, not generally, but precisely. How much money? What kind of lifestyle? What kind of contribution? What kind of impact? Vague desire produces vague results. Clear desire produces clear results. That is why he told readers to write down their goal in specific terms, to see it, to speak it, to repeat it daily until the subconscious mind accepts it as reality. And why the subconscious? Because desire must go deeper than the surface. It cannot just live in your conscious wishes. It must penetrate your subconscious belief. When your subconscious is saturated with desire, it will move heaven and earth to achieve it. Ideas will flow. Energy will rise. People will appear. Opportunities will align. Desire, planted in the subconscious, becomes an unstoppable force. Think of desire as a magnet. A weak magnet attracts nothing. A strong magnet pulls everything toward it. Your desire works the same way. A weak desire attracts nothing because it has no energy. A burning desire pulls resources, people, and opportunities toward you because it vibrates with power. The stronger the desire, the stronger the attraction. Hill told the story of Edwin Barnes, a man who had no money, no status, no connections, but he had a burning desire to work with Thomas Edison. Not for Edison, but with Edison as a partner. He didn't say, I wish. He said, I will. He didn't wait for the perfect time. He acted. He traveled to Edison's office with nothing but his desire and determination. Edison saw the fire in his eyes and gave him a chance. It wasn't immediate. Barnes started at the bottom, doing menial tasks. But his burning desire never faded. Years later, he became Edison's business partner and made millions. His story proved Hill's point. Success doesn't come to wishes. It comes to burning desire backed by persistence. The problem today is that people confuse desire with entertainment. They think liking something is the same as desiring it. They scroll through images of wealth, success, luxury, and feel a moment of excitement. But excitement is not desire. Excitement fades. Desire persists. Excitement is emotional. Desire is spiritual. Excitement makes you talk. Desire makes you act. So let's ask, how do you transform a weak wish into a burning desire? Hill gave us the formula. First, decide exactly what you want. Be specific. Second, determine what you will give in return. Nothing comes without sacrifice. Third, set a definite date. A dream without a deadline is a fantasy. Fourth, create a plan and begin immediately, no matter how small. Fifth, write a clear statement of your goal. And sixth, read it twice a day, morning and night, until your mind is saturated with it. This process turns vague desire into burning obsession. Why twice a day? Because repetition reprograms the subconscious. The first time you say it, it feels forced. After weeks, it becomes natural. After months, it becomes identity. At that point, your subconscious works to make it real, guiding your thoughts, decisions, and actions toward fulfillment. That is the hidden power of desire. It doesn't just motivate, it transforms your entire being into a magnet for achievement. But here's where most people fail. They stop too soon. They say the words for a week, maybe two, and then quit when nothing happens. That proves their desire was weak. A burning desire does not quit. It persists without evidence. It holds the vision even when the results are invisible. It believes before it sees. And because it believes, it eventually sees. Desire also gives meaning to sacrifice. Without desire, sacrifice feels unbearable. With desire, sacrifice feels worthwhile. A person with weak desire complains about the price. A person with burning desire gladly pays it because they know the reward is worth it. That is why athletes endure pain, entrepreneurs endure risk, creators endure criticism. Their desire is stronger than their discomfort. Their vision is greater than their pain. And let's be clear, desire is not greed. It is not selfishness. True desire is aligned with purpose. It is not just about getting more for yourself. It is about becoming more so you can give more. Hill never taught desire as mere materialism. He taught it as the foundation of all growth. Without desire, you don't even begin. With desire, you create, contribute, and expand not only your life but the lives of others. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, what do I truly desire? Not what others expect of me, not what looks impressive, but what burns in my soul. What am I willing to sacrifice for? What vision makes me restless at night? What dream would I pursue if I knew I could not fail? The answers to those questions reveal your destiny. And remember this, mediocrity is the result of weak desire. Greatness is the result of burning desire. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is not talent, not luck, not intelligence. It is desire. Ordinary people with extraordinary desire achieve what others think impossible. Extraordinary people with weak desire achieve nothing. So the hidden chapter of Think and Grow Rich is not about secret techniques or shortcuts. It is about the fire inside you. Desire is the first step, the foundation, the fuel. Without it, nothing begins. With it, everything becomes possible. Desire is not only the beginning of success, it is the foundation of faith. Napoleon Hill taught that the mind believes whatever it repeats with enough intensity. When you repeat your desire daily, it evolves from thought into belief, and belief becomes reality. But if your desire is weak, your repetition is weak, and your belief never takes root. That is why people who kind of want something rarely achieve it. Only those who transform want into obsession ever reach their goals. Think about how desire shapes the imagination. The human mind cannot distinguish vividly imagined desire from reality. When you desire something with such intensity that you see it, feel it, and live it in your mind, your subconscious begins to act as if it were already true. You begin to move differently, speak differently, make decisions differently. You attract opportunities that align with your imagined reality. And slowly, what began as desire becomes destiny. Hill insisted that desire must be definite. A burning desire without direction is wasted energy. For example, saying, "I want to be successful" is not a definite desire. It's vague. What does success mean? How much? By when? In what area of life? A true burning desire sounds like this. I will earn $100,000 by December 31st of this year. I will achieve this by providing valuable services, by building a business, by mastering my skills. That level of clarity transforms a wish into a command. And the subconscious mind responds to commands, not suggestions. Barnes, the man who became Edison's partner, never said, "I'd like to work with Edison." He said, "I will work with Edison." His burning desire turned into an obsession so strong that failure was not an option. That is why, even when he started as a menial worker, he never doubted. His desire sustained him until the opportunity appeared. Most people would have quit after months, but he persisted for years. Why? Because his desire was definite and burning. Desire is also the foundation of persistence. Without desire, persistence dies quickly. Hill explained that the only reason people persist through failure, rejection, and difficulty is because their desire is strong enough to keep them going. When you want something casually, you quit at the first obstacle. But when you desire it passionately, no obstacle can stop you. Desire transforms barriers into stepping stones. But here's the truth many ignore. Desire demands sacrifice. You cannot desire success and cling to comfort. You cannot desire growth and avoid challenge. You cannot desire greatness and refuse to give up mediocrity. Hill was clear. What are you willing to give in return? The stronger your desire, the more willing you are to sacrifice distractions, excuses, comfort zones, and even relationships that hold you back. Weak desire clings to everything. Strong desire lets go of everything except the vision. Another key, desire attracts help. When your desire is burning, people feel it. They sense your passion, your seriousness, your commitment. That energy inspires others to join you, invest in you, support you. But when your desire is weak, no one follows you because they sense your lack of conviction. Great leaders are not followed because of their knowledge alone, but because of their burning desire that ignites others. Desire is contagious. Hill warned that drifting, the enemy of destiny, always begins with lack of desire. Drifters don't know what they want. They drift into jobs, drift into relationships, drift into habits, drift into lives they never chose. And at the end, they wonder why they never achieved greatness. The answer is simple. They never had a burning desire that directed their choices. Non-drifters, by contrast, know exactly what they want. They live intentionally. Their desire keeps them awake when others sleep. Their desire keeps them focused when others are distracted. Their desire keeps them moving when others drift. So how do you know if your desire is real? Test it with this question. What am I willing to endure for it? If the answer is not much, it is a wish. If the answer is anything, it is desire. Barnes endured years of struggle to fulfill his desire. Hill endured decades of work to write his book. Edison endured thousands of failures to invent the light bulb. Their desire was proven not by their words, but by their persistence. Desire also gives birth to faith. Faith is belief in the unseen, and desire is the fire that sustains that belief. Without desire, faith fades. Without faith, desire dies. Together, they create unstoppable conviction. When you desire something enough, you refuse to let doubt take root. You refuse to let fear dictate decisions. You refuse to let setbacks define you. You believe, not because evidence is visible, but because your desire is burning. And belief backed by desire is invincible. But here is the warning. Uncontrolled desire can destroy. Hill was clear. Desire must be transmuted into purpose, service, and constructive action. Desire for selfish pleasure, without discipline, leads to ruin. Desire for purpose-driven achievement, disciplined and persistent, leads to greatness. The difference is direction. Fire can burn down a house or cook a meal. Desire can destroy or create, depending on how you direct it. That is why he connected desire with definiteness of purpose. You must channel your burning desire into a purpose greater than yourself. Otherwise, you become consumed by shallow desires that never satisfy. People chase money for the sake of money, status for the sake of status, pleasure for the sake of pleasure, and remain empty. But when your desire is tied to purpose, to contribution, to legacy, it becomes fulfillment. So ask yourself again, what do I truly desire? Is it shallow or deep? Is it selfish or purposeful? Is it vague or definite? Because your desire will shape your destiny. A vague desire leads to vague results. A selfish desire leads to emptiness. A burning, definite, purposeful desire leads to greatness. And here's the final truth. No one can give you desire. No mentor, no book, no teacher, not even Napoleon Hill himself. Desire must be born within you. It must be discovered, ignited, and nurtured by you. Others can inspire, guide, and encourage, but the fire is your responsibility. If you wait for someone else to give you desire, you will wait forever. But if you choose to ignite it yourself, your life will never be the same. Desire is the seed, but action is the soil where that seed grows. Without action, even the strongest desire will wither. Napoleon Hill emphasized that desire, no matter how burning, must be backed by a plan and persistent effort. Too many people confuse desire with daydreaming. They imagine a better future. They fantasize about wealth. They talk about what they want, but they never move. A burning desire does not allow that. A burning desire compels you to act, to experiment, to try again and again until the invisible becomes visible. Think about this. Desire without action is like fire without oxygen. It dies quickly. But desire with action becomes unstoppable. Action feeds desire, and desire fuels action. The two work together like breath and heartbeat. That is why Hill insisted that your desire statement must include not only what you want, but also what you are willing to give and what plan you will pursue. Desire must be practical, not just emotional. Barnes wanted to work with Edison, but wanting was not enough. He acted. He showed up. He put himself in the path of opportunity. He didn't know how it would work out, but his desire pushed him into action. And because he acted, doors opened. Had he stayed home, wishing, nothing would have happened. The same is true for you. Your burning desire must move your feet, not just stir your heart. Hill explained that one of the greatest tragedies is wasted desire. People feel the spark but extinguish it with excuses. They say, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the education. I don't have the connections. And so they drift. But look closely. Every great achiever began without money, without time, without education, without connections. What they had was desire, and desire found the way. Weak desire looks at obstacles and quits. Strong desire looks at obstacles and finds solutions. This is why Hill insisted that desire must be turned into obsession. You must think about it morning, noon, and night. Not as a passing thought, but as a constant focus. Your subconscious must be saturated with it until you cannot escape it. Obsession is what makes you resourceful. Obsession is what makes you creative. Obsession is what makes you endure rejection, failure, and delay. Without obsession, you quit. With obsession, you persist until you win. But there is a misconception here. People fear obsession as if it is dangerous. And it can be, if it is obsession for destructive purposes. But obsession for growth, for contribution, for legacy, that is not dangerous, that is destiny. Hill himself admitted that the greatest achievers were obsessed. They thought about their goals constantly. They sacrificed comfort, entertainment, and distraction for their vision. They looked crazy to others, but in the end, the world called them geniuses. Desire also transforms failure. Without desire, failure ends the journey. With desire, failure becomes feedback. A burning desire says, this is not the end. This is only a lesson. Edison failed thousands of times while inventing the light bulb. Barnes waited years for his opportunity. Hill himself took decades to refine his philosophy. What kept him going? Desire. The ordinary man sees failure as defeat. The extraordinary man sees failure as education. And the difference is always desire. Now, let us connect desire to wealth, because Think and Grow Rich was not just about dreams, but about tangible results. Hill made it clear, riches do not respond to half-hearted wishes. Money does not flow to vague hopes. Wealth is attracted to burning desire expressed in clear purpose and persistent action. If you truly desire wealth, you will develop the discipline to save, the creativity to invest, the courage to take risks, the persistence to endure setbacks. Weak desire never produces wealth because wealth requires consistent effort. And yet, Hill also taught that desire must be directed by imagination. Desire gives you the fire, but imagination gives you the form. Desire says, I must. Imagination says, here's how. Together, they create innovation, opportunity, and growth. That is why so many breakthroughs happen to people obsessed with a goal. Their subconscious imagination works day and night to solve problems and find solutions. Weak desire never triggers that power. Burning desire unlocks it. Desire also sharpens decision. When you want something desperately, you stop hesitating. You act quickly, firmly, decisively. Indecision is the cousin of drifting. But desire kills indecision because your passion is stronger than your fear. Hill noted that successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly, if at all. That is because burning desire gives them certainty. Drifters with weak desire hesitate endlessly, waiting for perfect conditions. Strong desire says, I decide now. And this brings us to sacrifice again. Desire always demands an exchange. If you desire wealth, you must give time, discipline, service, or skill. If you desire health, you must give exercise, nutrition, rest, and discipline. If you desire greatness, you must give persistence, courage, and humility. Nothing is free, but the exchange is always worth it, because the pain of discipline is temporary, but the reward of desire fulfilled is eternal. Desire is also spiritual. Hill called it the starting point of all achievement, because desire is the link between the human mind and infinite intelligence. When you desire something deeply and purposefully, it is often because it was planted in you by God. Desire is the whisper of destiny. Ignoring it is not just laziness. It is disobedience to your calling. Following it is not just ambition. It is alignment with divine design. That is why burning desire feels sacred. It feels like something you cannot shake because it is tied to who you were created to be. So let's bring this to you. What is the one thing you desire so strongly that you cannot ignore it? What is the dream that refuses to leave your heart? That desire is your clue. It is your compass. It is your path out of drifting into destiny. And until you honor it, you will always feel restless. Comfort will not satisfy you. Entertainment will not fulfill you. Only desire pursued with faith will bring you peace. But be warned, the world will try to extinguish your desire. People will call you unrealistic. Society will pressure you to conform. Fear will whisper that it is too risky. Doubt will scream that you are not enough. And comfort will invite you back into drifting. You must resist them all. Your desire must be stronger than their voices. Your desire must burn hotter than their cold opinions. Your desire must persist longer than their doubts. If it does, you will win. Hill concluded that desire, when definite and persistent, transforms into its physical equivalent. That is not magic. It is law. What you hold in your mind long enough with burning desire eventually manifests in your life. Because your thoughts shape your actions shape your habits shape your results, and your results shape your destiny. Everything begins with desire. So again, the hidden chapter of Think and Grow Rich is not about tactics. It is about fire. The fire in your soul. The fire that cannot be extinguished. The fire that says, I will until I succeed, until I achieve, until I fulfill my purpose. That fire is desire. Without it, you drift. With it, you rise. Without it, you settle. With it, you conquer. Without it, you exist. With it, you truly live. Desire is the spark that awakens the sleeping giant within you. Without it, talent lies dormant, intelligence remains unused, and opportunities pass unnoticed. With it, even the smallest seed of potential can grow into greatness. Napoleon Hill wanted us to understand that riches, in any form, money, health, relationships, influence, do not respond to casual wishes. They respond to burning desire, backed by faith and persistence. Hill often wrote that the difference between successful people and failures is small, but crucial. Successful people are obsessed. They allow desire to dominate their minds until it becomes a consuming obsession. Failures treat their dreams as hobbies, something to think about when it's convenient, something to pursue only when conditions are perfect. But conditions are never perfect, and hobbies never create wealth. Only obsession does. Look at the inventors, the leaders, the pioneers. They were called crazy before they were called geniuses. Why? Because their desire burned so strongly that they pursued visions others could not see. Edison failed thousands of times, but his desire never allowed him to quit. Henry Ford faced bankruptcy multiple times, but his desire to produce a car for the masses drove him forward. Helen Keller, blind and deaf, became a writer, activist, and inspiration because her desire for knowledge burned hotter than her limitations. Their lives prove Hill's point. Desire is the fuel of miracles. But here is where many misunderstand. Desire is not about greed. It is not about craving more without purpose. True desire is sacred. It is the inner call to grow, to expand, to fulfill the potential God placed in you. When your desire aligns with service, it becomes unstoppable. When your desire is tied only to selfish pleasure, it leaves you empty even if you succeed. That is why Hill warned to choose your desires carefully. Ask yourself, does this desire serve only me, or does it also serve others? Does this desire come from ego, or does it come from purpose? The answer determines whether your desire leads to greatness or destruction. Desire also connects directly to persistence. Think of persistence as desire stretched across time. Weak desire collapses under delay. Burning desire grows stronger under delay. The man with weak desire says, "It didn't happen quickly, so it must not be for me." The man with burning desire says, "It didn't happen yet, but it will." That difference creates destiny. Persistence is nothing but desire refusing to die. Another dimension of desire is transformation. A true burning desire does not just aim to get something. It changes who you are in the process. When you desire success deeply enough, you become disciplined, focused, and resilient. When you desire wealth with purpose, you become creative, resourceful, and generous. When you desire impact, you become courageous, outspoken, and persistent. Desire transforms because it forces you to grow into the person capable of carrying the vision. But desire also demands clarity. Hill gave us the formula not to complicate things, but to sharpen them. Write down what you want, when you want it, what you will give, and how you will achieve it. Why? Because the written word makes desire tangible. Thoughts are fleeting. Words are permanent. When you write your desire, you move it from imagination into form. When you read it daily, you reinforce it until your subconscious accepts it as truth. This is how burning desire becomes identity. And once it is identity, nothing can stop you. Because the most powerful force in the human psyche is the need to remain consistent with who we believe we are. If you believe you are weak, you will sabotage success. If you believe you are strong, you will fight until you succeed. Burning desire reprograms identity. It makes you see yourself not as someone who hopes, but as someone who achieves. And that shift in identity changes everything. He'll also warn to the enemies of desire. Fear, doubt, and drifting are the greatest killers. Fear tells you it's too risky. Doubt tells you you're not enough. Drifting tells you to relax, to wait, to stay comfortable. But desire, when burning, destroys them all. Desire makes fear powerless because your hunger is stronger than your fear. Desire silences doubt because your vision is louder than your insecurity. Desire defeats drifting because your fire refuses to sleep. Consider also the law of attraction that Hill hinted at long before it became popular. He wrote that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But the key is desire. Without desire, the mind conceives but does not believe. With desire, belief is inevitable and achievement follows. The law of attraction is not about casual thoughts. It is about burning thoughts backed by burning desire. That is why some people visualize and affirm for years without results. Their desire is weak. But when desire becomes obsession, the universe bends to it. And here is something profound. Desire attracts the people you need. Hill spoke of the mastermind principle, surrounding yourself with other minds in harmony to multiply power. But who attracts those minds? The one with burning desire. People are drawn to passion. They are inspired by fire. They trust the man or woman whose desire is obvious and unstoppable. Weak desire repels help, because no one invests in someone who is half-hearted. Burning desire attracts allies, mentors, investors, and partners, because everyone wants to be near a fire. Let's talk about sacrifice again. Every desire has a price. The question is not whether you will pay, but whether you are willing. If you desire health, you must pay with exercise and discipline. If you desire wealth, you must pay with work and persistence. If you desire mastery, you must pay with practice and patience. If you desire impact, you must pay with service and sacrifice. Weak desire resists the price. Burning desire embraces it. Because when your desire is burning, the price no longer feels like pain, it feels like progress. Hill himself sacrificed decades of his life to study, interview, write, and refine his philosophy. Many around him doubted, criticized, and even ridiculed his obsession. But his desire for truth and for helping humanity was stronger than their voices. That is why his work endures today. Weak desire would have quit. Burning desire created a legacy. And this brings us to the ultimate fruit of desire: legacy. Wealth can vanish. Success can fade. Fame can disappear. But legacy endures. Legacy is the impact you leave on others, the inspiration you plant in future generations, the truth that lives beyond your years. Burning desire tied to purpose always creates legacy. Weak desire dies with you. Strong desire outlives you. So what is your legacy? What will your burning desire produce, not just for you, but for those who come after you? Will your children, your community, your world benefit from the fire you carried? Or will they inherit the ashes of your comfort and drifting? The choice is yours, and the choice begins with desire. The hidden chapter of Think and Grow Rich is not about secret formulas. It is about fire. Fire that drives you, transforms you, sustains you, and ultimately outlives you. If you light that fire, nothing can stop you. If you ignore it, nothing can save you. The story of every great success begins with one moment of decision. The moment a person allows their desire to burn so strongly that it overrides fear, excuses, and comfort. Napoleon Hill wanted us to understand that wealth, greatness, fulfillment, they never arrive by accident. They are born in the fire of burning desire. And that fire is available to anyone who chooses it. Desire is not reserved for the few. It is not a gift given only to the talented, the wealthy, or the privileged. It is a choice. Every day you choose whether to let your desire burn or to smother it with doubt and distraction. Every day you choose whether to feed your dream or to feed your fear. Every day you choose whether to drift in comfort or to direct your life with passion. Think of how many dreams die because people never gave themselves permission to desire boldly. They wanted just enough to survive, just enough to get by, just enough to stay comfortable. But no one remembers those who settled. History remembers those whose desires were so great they could not be ignored. Those who set their minds on something definite and refused to quit until it was reality. Desire is the origin of faith. You cannot believe strongly in what you do not truly want. When you want something with all your heart, faith becomes natural. You believe because you must believe. Doubt is powerless against burning desire. That is why Hill placed desire as the first principle. It is the foundation of all the others. Faith, autosuggestion, persistence, imagination, decision, they all depend on desire. Without it, the system collapses. With it, everything else gains power. So ask yourself right now, what do I want so much that I would sacrifice for it, persist for it, fight for it, live for it? If you cannot answer, you are drifting. If you can answer, but you're not acting, your desire is weak. But if you can answer and you're already acting, already persisting, already paying the price, then your desire is burning, and your success is only a matter of time. And here is the truth. The universe responds to fire. God responds to faith. Life responds to desire. When you decide fully, when you commit completely, when you desire obsessively, doors open. People appear. Opportunities align. Coincidences multiply. It feels like magic, but it is simply law. The law that Hill described. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But do not mistake belief for hope. Hope waits. Belief acts. Hope wishes. Desire demands. Hope drifts. Desire directs. If you want to change your life, you must move beyond hope and ignite burning desire. That is the moment transformation begins. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will cost you. Yes, you will face failure, criticism, and delay. But when your desire burns hot enough, none of that will stop you. In fact, each obstacle will only feed your fire. Each setback will only deepen your hunger. Each delay will only strengthen your persistence. Because you will know, without a shadow of doubt, that it is only a matter of time before your desire becomes reality. And when it does, you will look back and realize the fire was worth it. The sacrifice was worth it. The persistence was worth it. Because the reward of burning desire fulfilled is not just wealth, not just success, not just recognition. It is transformation. You will not only have achieved something, you will have become someone. Someone stronger, wiser, braver, and more alive than you ever imagined. That is the hidden chapter of Think and Grow Rich. Not a list of strategies, but a call to ignite the fire within. To stop drifting, to stop wishing, to start desiring so strongly that nothing can stop you. So today, I challenge you, write it down. Decide exactly what you want. Speak it daily. Imagine it vividly. Act on it consistently. Pay the price willingly. And persist until it is yours. Do this, and your destiny will unfold in ways you cannot yet imagine. And if this message has lit even a spark inside you, don't let it fade. Fan it into flame. Take action right now, and join us on this journey. Because here, we don't settle for comfort. Here, we don't drift. Here, we ignite desire, build faith, and persist until destiny is fulfilled. So hit that subscribe button right now. Don't just listen, commit. Don't just agree, act. Subscribe and be part of a movement of people who refuse to drift, who choose burning desire, and who create lives of wealth, impact, and legacy. Because desire is the beginning of everything. And your beginning starts today.